We'll share here. Hello, Teresa. Nice to see you. I was just explaining I'm going to do a joint training over in Facebook while I'm doing this. So you might have to watch back to see what the hell this is about, if you can be bothered. And hang on a sec, because I'm trying to sort tech here, and it's always prone to go a bit horribly wrong if I don't concentrate. So bear with. Where am I going? Live on Facebook. That's where I'm going. Ha ha. Ooh, it's going to be good. I'm going to share in a minute. Normally, I simply say, oh, I've got a Facebook, listen to this. But I'm going to try to do this simultaneously so you don't have to leave Instagram to go to icky old Facebook. Oh, hello. Do you know I've written menopause? The name of the group is Menopause-anxiety freedom. Menopause. I know there's lots of jokes about that, aren't there? Right. Oh, God, here we go. Oh, lordy, Teresa. So now Zoom's doing its thing, and I never know at what point I'm actually live on Facebook. The camera's on, there's stuff happening, but there's no go live button yet. I don't know if you ever do this. If you do, some people make this look professional. I'm clearly not one of them. Okay, I'm now about to press a go live button. Or I might give it a title. What am I going to title it on? Oh, I don't know. Can't remember. Can't think. Bear with. Add a title. Oh, blimey, that wants me to add a title. Focus on today. That's what I'm going to call it. Focus on today. There we go. Okay, I might get sensible for a moment here. This is my group page where I deliver these little 5 and 10 minute fairly focused trainings. I'm like, when I'm just chatting here on Instagram. So if I go serious and I'm not looking at this camera, I'm looking at this camera, you'll know what. I could move this. I could move this maybe a bit. Ooh. Okay, now everyone on Facebook's wondering what I'm doing. Right, today I'm going to record a brief training and get back on camera over here. Based on how, when we're in the midst of overwhelm and anxiety and our brain is freezing and we're struggling with brain fog and all sorts, one of the key questions that a lot of coaches ask, or we might ask ourselves, is, what do you want for yourself? What do you want to achieve in the long run? How would life look if all this horror went away and everything was lovely and tickety-boo and gorgeous? And whether that's a coaching type question and we're thinking about our business, or whether it's a personal question and we're thinking about our lives, a similar thing kind of goes on where we're looking at, maybe a year from now, 10 years from now, even just a month from now, but we're kind of future pacing what it is we want, and we go for the big generic stuff like, oh, I'd have a really successful business, I wouldn't worry about money, I wouldn't feel stressed. There's a lot of wouldn'ts that often come in here rather than what we would have. I'd just relax and I'd enjoy life. They'd be kind of quite big, unwieldy, perfectly reasonable want to haves. And sometimes I share this kind of stuff at the beginning of a coaching relationship, and sometimes in the middle, and sometimes at the end, and sometimes I kind of in and out from it all the way through a coaching relationship. And you don't have to be in a coaching relationship with me to get this. But what I would ask you to do is, for a moment, you don't have to let go of any goals or dreams that you might have, quite the opposite. But what I want to do is ask you a question that we don't often ask ourselves and we rarely get asked by other people. And the question is this: what do you want in your life and your day today, this week? How do you want your day to map out? And that's a kind of weird question. You might think, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I mean, how many hours would you really like to be working? Do you want to be hanging out with people? Do you want to be going to more classes? Do you want to be learning new things? Do you want to be just chilling an hour of no people, just space, just nothing? What do you want for you? And you don't have to have a definitive answer that you pin on a wall and that's it, you're stuck, that you're never going to deviate from it. But what you want to start thinking about are kind of what I describe as non-negotiables. So what are the things that have to happen in your day? And you can see how this kind of fits quite neatly with when we're talking about lists or stuff, and we're trying to prioritize. There's all those sort of businessy type words that come in. But we rarely, we're going, oh, I've got to do this. Like we do all the got to haves or the got to do's. Oh, this has to happen and then that has to happen. And anyone on Instagram? My phone just fell on the floor. Sorry, I'm on Instagram as well. And my phone just fell off its mooring. That was a bit of a shock, wasn't it? Sorry about that. And that was completely on the wonk. Welcome to Shirley's world. Refocus. So the question that people rarely ask is, but what are my non-negotiables? What are the things that need to come in first? And this comes back to putting yourself first, top of the list, blah, blah, blah. But look at it slightly differently, as in, what do I want in my day? And it might be, well, actually, I don't want to get up at 5 o'clock. I want to get up at 8 o'clock. Or it might be, I don't want to get up at 8 o'clock. I want to get up at 5 o'clock. And it might be, well, I want to meditate before I do anything. Or I want to sit in peace and quiet and drink my cup of tea or my cup of coffee with no one around, just peace and quiet and birds. It could be anything, but you want to look at them as your non-negotiables. And when you've got your non-negotiables, they can relate to times like pockets of time. Like one of them could be, I have to have an hour that's just for me, but nothing else but me. It could be that. It's something that you want, not just in the future, some goal you reach out for, but something you want now, today, in this day, and in this week. And once you've got those non-negotiables, think of them as your foundation stones for the house that you're building, which is your life. And then all the other stuff that you think you've got to do builds around those non-negotiables. And if you start to think in this way, instead of, let me do all the things I have to do, let me juggle here and cope there, and then try to squeeze in these little pockets of you, that doesn't work. That just leads to more anxiety and more overwhelm and more brain fog and brain freeze and all the things we're trying to escape from in midlife and menopause anxiety. So start by thinking, what do I want in my day? What would be really cool? And avoid the, oh yeah, but I can't because, or but because. Scrap the buts, scrap the can'ts. Just think, if I have a blank piece of paper, a blank wall, a blank sheet, whatever, and I can just choose, what do I choose? When you choose you and you create your non-negotiables and you start there, you can achieve a quite dramatic shift in your thinking. That is one of the fundamental layers, as I say, the building blocks, the foundation stones for your life to come to a different place, a better place, a place where you do feel in control and happier and more relaxed. So I hope that's helped some of you. I hope it's been clear enough. It's, as I always say, a very short, very specific training that I deliver 3 times a week in the Menopause Anxiety Freedom Group here on Facebook. So leave me a comment below. Let me know if that makes sense, if it's something you're planning, if you realize that actually you've got no non-negotiables in your life, or maybe share what some of your non-negotiables are that you've either discovered right now or you already knew about. All right, have a brilliant rest of the day and I'll see you soon.